Oh man, welcome everyone. Welcome back to Dad Mode Podcast. I am your host, Kennedy, and yes, this podcast was once Dad Life, Real Life Podcast, but I wanted to rename it something that's going to that was going to embody my vision. So the new name is Dad Mode, and you can follow me on all my socials. It's Dad Mode, and today's title is called Balancing Act: Marriage, Kids, and Trying Not to Lose Your Mind. All right, so whew, let's start it. Okay, welcome back to Dad Mode, the podcast for father figure. Okay, welcome back to Dad Mode, the podcast for fathers figuring out as we go. Today's episode is for married dads, outnumbered dads, and the ones who are trying to keep their marriage strong while raising three little humans and still find time to shower. That's us. Let's talk about what balancing really looks like, what no one told us, and how we keep showing up even when running on fumes. Let's go. So I made notes. I wrote some stuff down. That's why um, I want to make sure I'm on task. I have a problem not being on task. So again, this is for dad trying to figure it out. Okay, so I want to talk about a little bit what balancing looked like for myself before I was married and had kids. Um, I was living life freely, you know. Uh, I'll never forget. I used to party with my friends till like 3, 4 in the morning, and go to work at 5 in the morning, hungover, wilding, right? And then if I want to go to the gym, I hit the gym. When I go off for work, no problem. You know, all the energy in the world. I had no responsibilities, and I had nobody to yell at me for coming home at 2 in the morning. It was fun. You know, and now I'm married. I've been married for about 12 years. Then we've been together for like 13. After year 5, you just lose count. Um, and we have 3 kids. When people ask me, what I think about marriage, I love being married. But to be honest, what people think marriage is 50-50, it's really not. Okay. Some days it is 50-50. Some days it's a solid 50-50, and there's no way, shape, or form to go around it. Okay. Other days it's 0 to 100. Some days I do 100%. My wife, it's just one of those days where, she needs to take a day. Or it's maybe 80-20 or 20, 20, 80, 70, 30, where however you need to slice it and dice it. Or some days it's just survival mode. We have to just get through today to get to tomorrow. And that's a complete 360 from just living life carelessly, you know. Uh, now every day it's there's something on the calendar that we have to do. Something has to be done, something has to be taken care of. There's really not a day off for us as well. And now that we're married, our roles have shifted from one of the boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, and whatnot. Uh, sometimes I have to cook dinner. Sometimes I have to clean the kitchen. Sometimes I have to help the kids with homework, or help the kids with whatever projects they have while she does the kids' hair. And with sometimes you get into the rhythm of life, and you just do the same dance. You 2 step left and you 2 step right. Sometimes you forget to connect with your significant other, and that happens. That's life. You know, just get into the rhythm of things. And this is where you have to remind yourself, just as a husband and father, that you know your significant other needs some time with you as well. You know, and sometimes that time can just be you get the kids situated. You get dinner. Clean the kitchen. You cook dinner, you feed the kids, and then you serve your wife, and then you watch TV or go on the back porch, like whatever you guys want to do. And or you make the initiative and call a babysitter and set up a date night for you and the missus, without her even knowing, just take care of everything. And that's why I do with my wife. Sometimes I'll just set up a date without her even knowing, and I'll just tell her on Wednesday, hey, Saturday we're going out. She's looking at me like, how? Do we got a babysit? I got it all taken care of. Or I just tell like, hey, next month on this day, I want to, let's do a date, let's do something, and that that's this helps you reconnect, that's help them reconnect, and it also it just rebalance you two as a couple as well, um, and also communicate, okay, um, when you're tired, just sometimes just taking that moment and just say, hey, listen, I'm tired, and I don't want I know I might seem snippy. I'm tired from work, whatever the case may be. But you have to be vocal, because if you're just a little snippy, or you're trying to give them a cold shoulder, even to your children, they don't know what's going on. They don't know how your day was. They don't know how tired you are. But sometimes you gotta let them know. Like, I personally, if I come home and I'm just like one of those days, and I'm just tired, I'm just drained, I just let it be know, like, hey guys, like, come give me a hug and come give me kisses, but like, I need some time for myself right now. Like, I need about 15, 20 minutes, or whatever the case may be, to kind of just regroup and kind of just woosha, woosah, you know what I mean? Because, and then with that, by me being so vocal, it's never blindsided my wife. It's never like, whoa, like, when I talked to you on the phone earlier, you was fine, but now you're all upset. you know Everyone's on the same page, everyone understands what's happening, so nobody's taken by surprise. And then also, she knows how to, you know um I guess you could say, not take any offense to anything I might say, like, in the sense of, like, if I come off a little snippy, and I apologize, I have no problem apologizing, for being a little snippy, and or if I'm in the wrong. Okay. Yes, I know sometimes I am wrong, and it's now it's recorded. um and I think that has also helped us stay balanced as a couple, is just me acknowledging, like, hey, I was wrong. That it had nothing to do with you, it had everything to do with work, or I'm just tired. I didn't get a good night's sleep, or I'm just hungry. Sometimes you're just hangry. Sometimes you're just hangry. Now, as fathers, some of us are in the beginning stages of fatherhood. Maybe our significant others pregnant, or we just had a newborn, or we were in the stages of between the ages of 1 and 4. I am in the, I'm not going to say second half, but I'm like towards the end of the elementary half, which is pretty nice. I have 11, 9, and 7 year old, and so my life just seems a little, maybe a little different from yours, but I remember those stages very well. And you know, how do you juggle work, school, emotion, activities, and giving your kids, the time they deserve, with working like a 14, 16 hour day, you know? Um, and what I did was, I worked Monday through Friday at the time with the career that I had. And I would, on Saturdays and Sundays, I would go ahead and section off about 3, 4 hours of the morning, and each each person got a solid hour with me, including my wife. Solid hour. So I'll hang out with my oldest, my middle, and then my son. Um, and then me and my wife was just. I'm not even gonna say me and my wife had a time limit, but we just hung out, like. And I just got I did the kids first, so because by the time they was done, like, they was done for the day, like, they was just out playing, they was doing whatever kids do, and me and my wife got to spend 3, 4 hours together and whatnot. But that's what I purposely did, and by doing so, now, even now, like, I still do it. I know each kid individually. I know each kid like, and I know everyone like the back of my hand, and it's nice, that I was able to give them that time. But again, time is currency that you can't get back. So make sure you spend it wisely and with the people you love. You know, um, and to be honest, even then, it felt I was definitely overwhelmed, and I used to question, if I'm even doing everything right, if I'm a great dad, a good husband. Am I shortchanging anybody, including myself? Like, there's a lot of things that go through your mind, and I'm telling you right now, you're doing the right thing. You're doing a great job, and when you do feel those things, that means you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. You're on the right path. and that's why you feel that way because you feel like you're not giving enough when you're giving it all. All right, all right. So now let's talk about time management. Okay, time management is a big one for us, man. I'm unorganized. Not gonna lie to you. So, and what I try to do, and I had to realize I couldn't. I try to do everything all at once. So if I'm going to work out, then I'm going to the gym. I'm getting the most expensive gym membership to force myself to go, and I'm gonna do all the workouts. I'm doing all of them, Monday through Friday. Well, after a while, that kind of get I got burnt out, and then I'm like, I'm tired. Then I wouldn't go. So what I had to start doing is introducing things I want to do slowly. Like, all right, if I want to go work out, I'll start for one day in the gym, and then again, the gym was about 5-10 minutes away. Now I'm tired. So what I did was I ordered myself some kettlebells, and I love kettlebells because you can get a whole body workout, upper, uh, lower, and a full body within 20 minutes. And so I introduced that to myself. About a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. I started off with one day, turned into two. Now I'm up to 4 days working out at home. Um, and I haven't missed any time for myself, my family, or things I like to do. Even like right now, I put Hogwarts on pause. um, and so it get actually getting the kettlebell gave me back time. I'm not in the gym for an hour and a half. I can work out while the kids are doing homework, and then when they're done doing homework, I'm done working out, and I feel great. I feel stronger. Um, but you have to make that time for yourself. Nobody's going to create that time for you. And what I've done is, since I always get up early, um, I will go ahead and work out before I head to work, or on my days off, I'll go ahead and work out after the. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'll go ahead and work out when everyone's out the door at 8 in the morning. And then and again, I work two jobs. So sometimes in between jobs, or if I'm off my second job and my wife is home, we'll go ahead and work out together. So that's how I kind of fit that in. And then my hobbies, like in playing the game, I'll go ahead and just tell everyone, like, hey, I'm going to go sit down and play the game for about an hour or two. This is my me time. And I'm like, all right, cool, go ahead and do your thing, Dad. But that's because I also communicating early on when they was younger, and when me and my wife was an early couple. Uh, those things. These are things I need to make sure I'm mentally here for you guys. All right. Now, uh, morning routines and things like that. So some tips and tricks that you could help with time management is pre-pack the kids' lunches, pre-pack your lunch, or obviously get your stuff ready before you go to bed, and just trying to get into that habit. Pick one of your days off to kind of prepare for the next 3 days in a row and to see how that makes you feel when you get up and like, oh yeah, I got it. I already got that done. Boom. You go ahead and keep it moving. All right. And um, one other thing I want to say is, with all that being said, sometimes like it's very overwhelming, and it's okay to ask for help. Okay. I have a therapist. I'll talk to him once a week, and I think everyone deserves a therapist. It's a good thing to have someone to talk to openly and to get everything you feel off your chest. And sometimes it's kind of like reassurance that you're not going crazy. Especially as men, we try to keep everything on our shoulders. It's okay to brush your shoulders off and kind of and lighten that load. Okay, it's if you need someone to talk to, by all means, reach out. Okay. Um, what's trying to think? Um, ask for help. Oh yeah, and avoid burnouts. If you're tired, and this one thing I had to notice: if I'm tired, I'm taking one behind the bed. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed, and I'm taking that nap. I'm done fighting it because I realize the more and more I fight it, the more I've been burnt out at the end of the week. So go ahead and take that time, lay down, and just decompress. All right. So now I'm gonna give you top 5 dad hacks for balance. All right, boom. Preparing school stuff the night before. So what I've done is I made all my kids get the stuff situated the night before. Your clothes, your tablets, your schoolwork, all that stuff. Anything that has to be signed has to be put on a certain part of the counter when you walk in it when the door and things like that. Uh, we don't do anything like mandatory quiet times, but we do what we call the floor is lava. So meaning like if me and the wife were kicking it and we're watching a TV show and the kids is really in bunches that day and we're like, all right, bet, go do y'all thing, but let y'all know now the living room is the floor is lava, and they do not come in here. Obviously, unless it's an emergency, but they do not come in here. Obviously, we share a calendar together, so we know everything that's going on. Um, Sometimes just take a car ride. Like hey, I know you say you got to run to the store later and you got to get X, Y, Z. Give me the list. I'll go ahead and go for you. Sometimes that car ride to the store and back kind of free up your mind, and you come back regenerated. All right. Also, build get a group of friends that you can text, and also you want a good circle around you that's going to uplift you. So if you can have a great circle around that can uplift you as a parent, as a father, make a group chat, and reach out to those fellows as well. All right. Sorry. Those dry. All right. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this little note that I wrote for you guys. Give me a second to read it. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to show up. If you're doing your best and loving your people, you're already winning. And make sure you tag a dad who needs to hear this. Subscribe, share, and remember, we're all winging it together. Thank you guys for listening. Again, I'm your host, Connor Kennedy, and you have tuned in to Dad Mode Podcast. Peace out.